All right, this is Sunday, August 17th, 2025 at 7 p.m. We are live. This is Brother Ed Steve, your host of the KWBE show. I have my daughter again for part two of Don't Be a Victim, Nai Latte. And man, she's got a story to tell, to share. And I hope and pray that you would get something out of it. You know, I'm finding out in my little bit of research. First of all, I did this for a living for 22 years. And in my research I'm doing now in preparation for this program, I'm finding out that so many people are scammed. So many people are being defrauded nowadays. It is absolutely awful. And I mean awful. But you do not have to be among them. So what I want you to do is really pay attention. You got a couple of minutes now. You can get on the phone. You only got like 2 minutes. Get on the phone. Tell people, tune into this program now, because people are being defrauded unnecessarily. And I'm going to tell you something. The economy, if you didn't already know, is going pretty badly. It's going south right now. And the worse the economy gets, the worse these fraudulent scams are going to get. There's going to be more of them. There are already more of them. There's so many now. And Nai Latte and I are going to share some things with you. And we have a special guest we just found out on August 31st, a woman with a lot of experience in this thing. Almost became a victim, but she ended up becoming a crusader. And we're going to hear from her on August 31st. The more, let me correct that. The worse this economy gets, and it's getting worse by the hour, okay? The worse it gets, the more people are going to come up with these scams and other types of criminality in order to get some bucks, all right? And I'm telling you, like I said, I did this for 22 years. I'm telling you, they will not mind getting their bucks at your expense. I've seen these people do everything they possibly can to scam you and I, particularly those among us who are senior citizens. And when I say senior citizens, I mean, I guess some of them are my age, but I still don't like to think of myself as a senior citizen, but I am, you know. But I think for the most part, it's like people over the age of 70 who fall victim to these scams. Young people who are in college who are desperate, we're going to devote a little time to that. But that's enough said. Just get your folks on here because we don't want anybody to be scammed. I'm telling you, before I bring Nai Latte up, I've witnessed cases and have been involved, have investigated cases where people ended up being defrauded by so much money. I mean, everything that they had, and they committed suicide. You know, I mean, that's serious. They lost everything. And one of them was right here in New Jersey, a retired teacher. I think she was like 73 years old. And she lost everything she had. And she just walked out into the water, the beach, the ocean on the Jersey Shore and killed herself. Another young woman out in Wisconsin. She was 54. She lost, I think it was $400,000 and she killed herself. Listen, that doesn't have to happen to anybody we know, nothing like that. And thank God most of the people that we know will not be involved in suicide, but they're going to suffer great loss, great loss. And we don't want that. And it's not necessary. It does not have to happen. Get those people on this show. All right. So without further ado, I want to introduce again and present to some my daughter, Nai Latte. Nai, what's up?
Hey.
How you
Hey,
doing
you
tonight?
guys. I'm doing very well. I'm looking forward to continuing this topic because not only am I experiencing so much on my own where I can speak to it, but I like the education of it as well because experience means nothing if you're not helping others. So what do you always say? A smart man learns from his own mistakes, a wise man learns from someone else's. So
Right.
learn from my mistakes, learn from the stories that you hear, learn from my dad who has said it. He has the experience over 20 years. So if you're not listening to this, and you're not getting additional wisdom, you will definitely fail when it comes to these scammers because they're getting more and more thoughtful. Just like you're gaining wisdom, they're gaining their own version of it. But they're very dumb. They are very dumb.
Right.
Um, so there are ways to protect yourself, and I'm glad we're talking about that today. So that's my
Excellent. Excellent.
intro.
Well, let's start right there. Pick up
Okay.
where you left off. There's some things that you thought warranted
Yes.
adding. So let's go
Yes.
for it.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because before I continue where I left off with the story that I was telling, and then another experience that I only just had between the last show and this one, three things for me, I believe, um, allow an innocent person to be scammed is greed, desperation, which you mentioned just a moment ago, and ignorance.
Mm,
So of course, when you think about greed, some people just love money so much that the first sign or the first thing they hear when it's you're gonna get such and such amount of money, you're gonna win $20,000 or whatever it might be, the first thought is, well, let me figure out how to do this. And they're making it so easy. And nothing is that easy when it comes to money at all. Look at the economy. How could it be that simple? So greed often creates this almost to a point of desperation. But even with the lottery, like people are spending all this money, sorry for the lottery players, but the people spend so much money, trying to win this lottery. Do you know the odds of it?
you're
Like,
3 times more likely to get struck by lightning.
right, like come on, so and I get it. I get the fun in it. I get the thrill, but speaking from a scam perspective, if you are that greedy, you are bound to be a victim. And then desperation, this desperate desire to have what you don't have is very much, it reminds me very much, and we just talked about this offline, Mark chapter 8 verse 36, where it says, what would it profit a man to lose his soul, excuse me, to gain the whole world but lose his soul? When we get to a point of desperation, we'll just do anything. So anyone can say anything to you, but you lose your whole soul because you're trying to profit, you're trying to gain something, and it just might not be your time to have it. And I get it. There are people in poverty. We shouldn't even have poor people as far as I'm concerned, but we're in situations like that, and all it takes is one call, one phone call for somebody to say, I'm going to offer you this, or I'm going to offer you the world, but you think you're going to profit, but you end up losing. So that's
Okay,
the
I
that's
gotta throw some very quick questions in here just for
yes,
clarification. The
sure.
three things that encourage scams: desperation, greed, and what was the third one?
Ignorance.
Ignorance. Wow.
Ignorance. Yes,
The people
ignorance.
perish from lack of not for lack of knowledge. That's another
That's where I was going
script.
with it. I was going to say the world says ignorance is bliss. God says, the word of God says, my people perish for the lack of knowledge. So you got the world versus the word. Very different.
Right.
And so ignorance makes us very susceptible to crimes like scam because we don't know. And but it's important to know, like, how many people are actually going to listen to this. If you send the link out, which all of you should, please, if you send the link out, how many people are going to actually get the knowledge that they need? Knowledge is power, right?
Right.
But then in our ignorance, we're just like, oh well, I don't need to know because I'm never going to be a victim. The devil is a liar. The
That's
devil
right.
is a liar.
Come
I
on.
thought I I thought I couldn't be one until, and I wasn't, thank God, but I have my dad. I have the privilege of his experience teaching me, nope, that sounds crazy. Nope. Mm-mm. And I really, really wanted to believe that it was absolute. So that last story I was telling, unless you had a question first.
No, that was it.
Okay. So the story I
Wait.
was
I
telling.
have a comment, if I
Okay.
may.
Okay.
Something
Of
in line with
course.
what you're saying right now. Second Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. Believe it or not, says evil people will get worse. They will continue to scam and be scammed
Mhm.
themselves.
They'll eat
So if
what
there's
they.
some kind of scam thing going on in your heart, that makes you susceptible to being scammed, to being a victim of a scam. And the bad guys, the scam artists, they know that they can recognize
Wow.
people like that a mile away. So keep that in mind. And you ain't got to raise your
Wow.
hand and tell everybody your business. That's between you and God. So go ahead.
Right. I love it. So, the story I was telling before was related to this house that I wanted to rent. The rent was really, really good. 1425, y'all, for like over 2,000 square feet. So I'm excited because I'm like, oh, my kids are gonna love this. They're gonna be able to run around. I'm gonna be on a different part of the house, not able to hear anything. So I'm okay with that. They're gonna have all of the things that they want, the things that I want for them, the things I want for me, etc. So I'm excited, but not greedy, thankfully, because this particular person that said that he was offering this low price claimed to be a pastor and to be helping someone. That's what his whole goal was, his intent. Lies, lies, lies is what I found
Right.
out. But again, I had to talk to my dad because I really, really, really wanted to believe this was it.
Right.
Desperation.
Can I jump in here
Desperation.
real quick?
Yes.
I don't want you to lose your enthusiasm or your momentum. So don't keep your bookmark right there.
Okay, right
But
there.
I
Right there.
have to say this. Number one, the scam artists know what will make you excited just based on the average person thought process. The average person likes to think that, oh, my daughters are going to love this. Oh, I could be in one side of the house and they could be another side of the house. These things all fall under the category if it sounds too good to be true. It probably is.
Yes.
So you have to keep that in mind. So that should not make you necessarily hang the phone up, even though I would, but that's another
Mhm.
Oprah. But it doesn't have to necessarily make you do that. But you got to start thinking quickly, like, wait a minute, why? And that brings me to point number two. And then I'm going to shut up. I want to give it back to you.
Okay.
You have to always ask yourself, family, why is this person whom you have no idea who they are, you've never met them, why are they doing all of this for you?
Mhm.
That's what you got to ask yourself. And
Mhm.
most of the time, if not all of the time, you're going to come up with the following answer. They're trying to take my hard-earned dollars.
Mhm.
That's what he's doing.
Yep.
He's trying to get
Yep.
me all excited and get me to, contribute X amount of bucks so I can lose all of my money to him, whom I don't even know. He's just going to disappear. And all of those pictures and stuff they send you, that's not them. They
Mhm.
don't look nothing like those pictures. They're probably a different gender, a different race, to everything. It's different.
Mhm.
So this guy started out with Nai Latte talking about, yeah, I'm a pastor and I just want to help people. That got her excited. Go ahead,
It
Nai.
did. It did. Especially because I'm a Christian. Like
She's a
I
minister.
was, yes, I was excited. Like I'm like, oh my gosh, God, this is a sign. This could be a sign. Now I was still skeptical from the previous. So if you haven't watched the last video, check out the last video. I was still skeptical from the previous experience, even though that guy wasn't a scammer as much as he was incompetent. So, and that's what dad and I talked about and decided, yeah, that wasn't scam, that was incompetence. He was just bad at his job. He didn't want to do it apparently. And I lost out on a place that actually wasn't a loss at all. Thank God for for pointing certain things out to me. But at any rate, with this new place, he claimed to be a pastor. The subject, not the subject line, but the two lines said God's grace. So I'm like,
in
oh,
your
this is God's
in your
grace.
email.
Yes, exactly. I'm sorry. Yes. In the email, as soon as before I could even open it, it said God's grace. And I'm like, hallelujah. God is about to show his grace. I was so happy. But I'm trying to compose myself because I'm like,
Right.
okay, I just had a bad experience. This might not be it. But that's when I knew to call my dad. If you have somebody in your life that knows, and first of all, with YouTube University and TikTok news and all of the other social media you have at your fingertips, there's no reason why you should be scammed because there's so much out there that tells you exactly what you should be avoiding and how to prevent scam, et cetera, et cetera. I just so happen to have the biggest blessing of them all, my dad, with 20 plus years of experience in it. You don't have my dad because I'm very possessive when it comes to him. I'm just kidding. I'm sure he'll be helpful.
Yeah,
But
we have to share. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, yes, Dad'll definitely share. But I'm glad that he's just a phone call away from me. YouTube University that's what we call it now, right? So it's just a type away for you. So if you can't connect with someone like Brother Ed or whomever, if you don't have an FBI person that's, that you can just call or whatever, if you don't have a lifeline, a scammer lifeline, you can go online, period.
Let me,
But at any rate,
can I
so
jump in again? I
sure.
apologize.
Mhm.
I just want everybody to know this. If you send me an email, I will answer you. It might not be right away, but do not make any decisions until I answer you. All
Mhm.
right. And we don't do this for nothing except it's part of the ministry. That's all it is.
Mhm.
We ain't
Yep.
charging nothing. We're not looking for any money from anybody. We don't
Mm-mm.
want that. We're
Mm-mm.
just looking to help people. That's what God put on us. So if you send me an email, that's fine. And you can send me too. You can send me a text if you have my phone number. And I think most of you do. All
Mhm.
right. But whatever you do, don't make a decision until I get back to you. Go ahead, Nyla.
And to that point, if you're making a decision based on this potential scammer's urgency, the urgency in and of itself is looking and sounding like scam.
Right.
So don't even you that should, as Steve Harvey would say, further let you know that this is probably not what you think it is. This is probably not going to end well. So I say all that to say, going back, I got that really, to me, awesome email from this guy that, I'm thinking is a pastor. His wife participates in a church, but I did some research because that's what my dad told me to do. Go ahead and actually use one of those sites that might cost you $10 to $20 to do some research, but poke around and see. And then I started to see, because I did pay, I think about $6 or $7 um, for one particular information site. And what it revealed to me is that this guy wasn't even on the house, and that it had been sold to somebody. I don't even remember the person's name, but besides the point. Sold to her like 5 years ago. So his name, his first name, last name, none of that was on record for this house at all. So as far as I'm concerned, there was no connection, and therefore I had to be very thoughtful of how I responded to him, because at this point, not only does he have my email address, he also has my text. Excuse me, my phone number to text. So in the text, we're exchanging information back and forth, etc. And then finally, um, what happens? He tells me that he's going to show me the house. But in the email, he told me that they weren't doing showings now because the tenant still lives there. So I'm like, wait, what? But he didn't remember that, and I'm not going to tell him, because now what's starting to happen is his ignorance is causing him to tell a lie and not know how to back it up because he forgot he said it in his email. So I said, well, no, I'm not going to have time to do a showing. And he's like, oh, well, we can just schedule it, whenever you're available, et cetera, but just fill out the application. Okay, so and in the application you want me to give X, Y, and Z information. And I told him, I said, I'm not comfortable with that. And he's like, I'm not trying to take your money. Well, you sound kind of defensive. I didn't say that, but he said, I'm not trying to take your money. Because I think at that point he wanted me to take a picture of my driver's license and the last four of my social security number. Bruh, I am not doing any of that. So long story short, after he said, I'm not trying to take your money, I never responded to him, and he never reached back out to me. Now, some scammers that I've experienced will continue to press it, but Okay, guys. We had a little interruption in the
Yeah, just a
technology.
little.
That was weird.
Very weird. I hope it doesn't happen again, but we're gonna go on. As you say, the devil is a liar, and he's that this
Yes.
in a way, this is good news because it lets us know that we're doing the will of the Lord, and the
Mm-hmm.
devil does not want that to
Hates it.
place. So pick up where you
Uh,
left off,
It
if you
sounds like you're
remember.
breaking. Okay, I do, but it sounds like you were breaking up a little bit. Do you want to try another sentence to make sure?
Let's see. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. How am
Perfect.
I coming through?
Perfect. That was
Good.
good. Yes.
Okay, good. You go
Um,
ahead.
so I don't know if you all heard the last part, but this so-called pastor ends up trying to get me to send my driver's license and like the last four of my social. And when I told him no, I don't do emails, I don't do text messages. He didn't try to offer some type of electronic portal, a secure portal or anything. He was just like, I'm not trying to take your money. And that's when I knew he was defensive and it's time for me to just stop engaging him. I knew right away, especially again, because of the information that I received from my dad, that this was not what I wanted it to be. But because I had the knowledge and because I was not truly desperate because of that previous experience, and I'm willing to wait for God, because God, I don't want nothing you don't want for me. If it's for me, God is going to make it work out. It's not going to be all like this. And God doesn't, if God is going to drop a suddenly experience in your lap, it's not going to look like, oh, you got to do this right now. And if you don't do this, then you're not going to get what you wanted. No, because God is not the author of confusion. So
That's
you
right.
won't be confused by the will of God, period, and end of story.
And let me throw something in on that point too. And this is from not just my investigative, but my life experience as well. And I always told all of y'all this: if anybody's trying to sell you something at any time, it doesn't have to be fraudulent. It could be a car. Car salesmen are really good for this. Well, they'll always give you that crap. Well, this offer is only good for today. You need to sign right now. I always told my kids, if they say that, run,
Mhm.
because that's a bunch of bunk. All right.
It is. It
If the
is.
deal is that good and they want your support, what do you call it? Your customer. They
Loyalty.
want to make you a customer
Mm-hmm.
that bad. It's not going to end today.
Mm-mm.
The same thing, or even better, will be there tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. Don't buy it. And I used to tell my kids, I don't know if you remember this, Nyla. If somebody says, "Oh, you got to sign that today," all you have to say is, "No,
Right.
that's against my religion, and plus I have to go take this to my father, and he's not gonna go with this."
Mm-mm.
Blame me, and y'all look, y'all could blame me. I'm not your father or your uncle or anything like that, but this it's okay in this case to be deceptive. All right, you can say, "Hey,
Right.
my brother, he works for the police." Matter of fact, you're gonna hear much about that on the 31st. That's a funny
Mhm.
one, but it
Mhm.
works. But anyway, go ahead.
Um, so that was pretty much the end of that experience. So one thing I can say, from what I gathered after that encounter was, if you are confident, and if not just confident, but confident in yourself and confident in and you exhibit confidence to this particular person by just saying a flat out no, I'm not going to do this or what have you, that a scammer doesn't want to work. A scammer doesn't want to do all the extra work. So to try to sit there and make you feel like, unless they get something about you or something that you said that makes them feel like I could keep going a little bit and maybe she'll bite, you're you're not worth baiting anymore. Because for them, they just want it to be easy. Like I just want to get this lady's money. I just want to get this man's money. And if they have to do extra work, that's not the name of the game for them. They just want to go in and out, in and out. So if you're a person that can just, if you never had confidence and you like acting, be an actor that day.
Right.
Become an actor. Be the best darn actor you can be. Be Denzel Washington if you want to. Pick an actor and live in that moment and lie, say whatever you need to say to get them out of your way and to save your own money. I don't care if you got $1, save that dollar. It's not worth giving it to somebody else. They don't deserve it. You're the hard worker and they don't want to do nothing but take your
Right.
hard earned money. Period. So another experience, because I'm thinking we're ending in a few minutes, right?
Yeah, but we're gonna because of the breakup, we're gonna go a little bit longer. Y'all just bear with
Okay.
us. This is for you. This is for you. Go ahead.
Yes, yes, for sure. So I had an experience on TikTok, and let me just say, we have so many communication outlets now. It can happen anytime, anywhere, on any portal. Whatever you have access to communicate with, they will try to reach out to you. In fact, I don't know if you've seen these yet. Before I even go to the TikTok story, the text messages that we get now that say Easy Pass or Drive ERT or whatever it is, you owe such and such balance. I'm I know what my account looks like. I sure don't owe a balance. And if it's that deep and I feel like there might be some truth, I can call them. Pick up the phone. Nobody wants to pick up the phone to
Right.
verify this information. Pick up the phone. Stop believing
Right.
people
Don't
just
let
because.
them tell you that. Don't let anybody that's soliciting you out of the blue tell you what to do. Click this
Yep.
link on. I'm telling you, if you click that link on, that opens your whole world up to them. Don't do
Yep.
it. Give us your credit card information. Don't do it.
Nope.
You know what I
For
do? I
what?
get those calls. You get those calls right now.
Yep.
Yeah. I get those calls and emails and all of that. You know what I do? I don't do anything with the phone call. I'll hang up. I'll do what you said. I'll go online and look at my account. In some cases, I actually call the bank with the number of the information that I have.
I have. Yep.
I don't care if they tell me the sky is falling. I want to be like, well, what sky are you talking about? And that's okay. I'm going to check with my bank and see if they have the same information. Goodbye.
Right.
And then you go with your bank and they'll be like, no, no, we don't. This has happened to me so many times. Oh, no, we don't know anything about that. That's a scam. Report it to this address. We're going to send you the email address. Just report it or forward the email, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I do. Go ahead.
You know, my best friend and I laugh about this all the time. Um, People with audacity. Like, you have the audacity to take time from my day to call me and tell me that something's going wrong and make me waste time, energy, and money talking to you about something that's not even true. That's the type of audacity I don't need in my life. Like, what would possess you, the devil, to come and bother anyone because you don't want to get a job?
Right.
You're so good at this technology. You've done so much to get here. Why can't you start your own company? Like, what in the world? But
Hello,
anyway,
Silver.
I digress. I digress because I can go on and on about that. But
Of course.
TikTok. So, and this isn't the first time it happened, but because it was literally within the few weeks between the last show and this one that it happened, I said, "Oh, so this is just like a regular thing now."
I told
I'm
you it's
on.
getting worse.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm on TikTok, and this blonde haired, brown eyed girl reaches out to me and she's like, "Hey, I want to can I," and she was very polite, "can I use your picture to draw or to do a painting of some sort?" And I said, "Well, what do you need it for?" And she said, "Oh, it's a special picture. I like it. So now you're trying to validate me. So now you're trying to work on my either insecurities or my securities. You don't know me from a can of paint, but for whatever reason, you felt like you needed to compliment me to make me feel good." So she said, "I just feel like it's such a beautiful picture and da da da." And I said, "But for like what? Like, what are you gonna do with the picture? Because I'm trying to figure out. I don't want you drawing my picture because forget a scam. I don't want you drawing a picture with me with no clothes on or something. I don't know what the deal is. So I need
Right.
to make sure I have in writing. I did not give you permission if that's what it was." So anyway, I kept talking to her. Now, mind you, this is a young girl. I didn't really think it was that bad because at the time she wasn't talking about money. So
How
I
do you
said,
know it
yeah,
was a
it's
young
fine.
girl?
Well, I because of the picture. This is based on her TikTok profile, and she
I
didn't have a
guarantee you
lot
that
of
was like a
pictures.
40 or 50-year-old man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But see, and then she didn't have a lot of pictures. And I'm always using that as kind of like my checklist. Okay, you don't have a lot of pictures. You may or may not have a lot of followers. Um, you're not following me right now. So you just came across my picture, like give me a break. So at any rate, she goes into, I want to do this and that. And I said, okay, it's fine. And so she says, okay, so when I do this, I'm gonna send it to whatever the company or whatever she said, I don't remember. But and they're gonna give me $3,000 and I'm gonna give you 10% of that. Now, first of all, baby, if you're getting 3,000, I don't want 300. I
Yeah.
want 2,800 actually, because it's my picture. But whatever. I didn't say any of that. I'm just joking. But she said, I'll give you 10% of that, etc. And I said, I don't want any money. And that was the end of the conversation. Because
Really?
now, yup. Because now, what are you going to do? What could you possibly say? What are you going to try to egg me on with? What are you going to bait me with? You're trying to get money from me, and I'm telling you, I don't want money. But from what I know now is that scams like that usually look like this on the other side. So if I had gone through with it, she would have sent me a check, a $3,000 check that's absolutely no good. I will have cashed it. Well, not cashed it. I will have deposited it, taken the money, given her $2,700, and then the check would bounce. And what is she gonna do? Give me another check? No, I'm responsible for the bounce check. So I don't have nothing now. I don't have $3,000, but she has 2,700 of it.
And let me chime in real quick, and
Yes,
we are going to
please,
close it up in a little bit. Um,
please.
I want you all to know this, that, and I tell everybody this, and when I was working, which I retired in 2009, but it's the same song, just a different tune. I used to
Mhm,
share this with audiences far and wide. I even taught these investigative techniques at the police academy in Union County for like 6, 7 years. Uh, so I have quite a background in this thing, but I always tell people, whenever somebody tells you, well, you're going to get all of this money, you're going to get this 3,000 or 30,000 or $300,000, but all you got to do is send us 5,000. Or in the case of 3,000, maybe she asked you to send her 500 first or a
mhm,
thousand first, and then you're going to have the whole check anyway, right? This is what I tell everybody to say. Say, yo, I don't have to send you anything. Send me the check, and before you send it to me, you can take your fee off ahead of time. Matter of fact, you asking me for 10,000, take 30 and give me the rest of that 300,000.
mhm.
When you tell them that, they will hang up the phone on you. Okay, and I guarantee you've been hung up by better people than them. So don't go for these tricks where they say, "Oh, well, you got to send us so much money up front and blah blah." Don't
Mhm,
go for that, man. Just
mhm,
tell them, look, like we get a lot of lotteries, and they come up like every few years with these kinds of scams. Like,
mhm.
you have won $500,000, but in order for us to pay you, you have to send us 10,000. I would be immediately, dog. You don't have to go through that. Take off 10,000. Matter of fact, take 50,000 off and give me the
Mhm.
rest. Say that,
True.
and again, you will hear a click.
Yep.
Okay? Don't give anybody money ahead of time. Never, ever, ever give anybody money ahead of time. Go ahead, Nine. We only got like, I can't even see the counter now. Oh, there it is.
30.
We probably got like 2 minutes.
That's okay because I'm pretty much done. I think, again, just remember that your desperation, your greed, your ignorance are the easiest ways to get scammed. So you have to not be desperate, not be greedy, and not be ignorant. So again, knowledge is power. Get knowledge so that when you get on the phone with these people, you're not just so quick to give everything. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to ask you questions related to your private information. Why would
Right.
you give anybody your private information in the first
Yes.
place? Why would you do
Never.
that? What is the purpose of having your own identification number and then give it to someone else to identify you? If it's not a job or whatever you where you actually need it, like government something or what have you, don't give your information away. And even then, you have to be thoughtful, you have to be wise, you have to be um just very skeptical, because nowadays
Absolutely.
everything and everybody deserves your skepticism, period. And that is all.
Amen. Thank you for that, Nai. And listen, Nai's going to be back on August 31st. Now, we normally go second and fourth Sunday. Second Sunday was last week. As you know, we couldn't do that. We decided, her and I, that we don't want to do it next week, so we do it 2 weeks in a row. The 31st is the last date and the last Sunday in this month of August. So come back on the 31st at 7 p.m. and we're going to wrap this up. We got some good information for you. Matter of fact, one thing I wanted to go over with you, I'm not going to do it today because we are out of time, even with the disruption we had from the storm. I didn't know there was going to be a storm here, but I'm going to go over this with you. These are your 5 protectionary measures that you need to take in order to not become a victim of a scam. If you follow these 5 things, now you can take a picture of it now if you want, but I'm going to go into detail on it on the 31st. If you follow these 5 steps, you won't be a victim. Okay. And the first one is speaks volumes. And I spoke about it several times. Never appear desperate. Don't give them an information or any type of wording that you use in your text messages or anything that makes you seem desperate. Like, oh, well, I'm a single mom. I got 5 kids and I need money. I'm so glad, like Nai said to that guy, or she was thinking, this is a godsend, No,
Mhm.
this is a business transaction, period. We'll talk about the rest later. But I'd like to see you all come back on the 31st, and we're going to take it from there. And again, we have a special guest who learned from almost becoming a victim to becoming a perpetrator against the scam artist. And she's been having a good time, and she's going to share some of that with us. So Nai will be back, and I'll be back. So I don't know if we're going to be able to get the music up or not. But Nai, you got any closing words while I'm trying to do that?
Be smart, scam the scammer. That's my advice.
Excellent. Scam the scammer. I love that. That's what we're going to begin the 31st. 2 weeks from today. The scammer. Be smart. All right. God bless you, family. We're so happy you came out, all of you. Please, each of you, invite at least one other person
Yes.
for August 31st, 7 p.m., same time, same bat channel. All right. We look forward to seeing you then. And we're going to close out now. I think we can do it, right?
Let's try it.
Yes, we can do it. So peace, everybody. God bless you. We love you. We'll see you on the 31st. Bye-bye.
Bye.